Am I the asshole for breaking up with my boyfriend after he chose our supposed future children over me? Okay. Spill it. What's your take on this mess? Is this okay? Comment your raw reactions or any wild drama you've survived. I, a 21-year-old female, have been dating my 22-year-old male boyfriend for 4 years. We recently started talking about our future together, and the issue of children came up. He has known for a long time that I have always been uncertain about having children. He, on the other hand, insists that he likes children and would like to have them in the future. This issue has often caused a significant strain on our relationship, but we have chosen to address it later. This past Saturday, the issue arose again, and the conversation turned into a heated argument. My boyfriend said that living without children would make his life pointless, and he feels he would resent me in the future if I made him forgo them. I listened to his argument, and it made sense. After all, we are both young and have some time before we reach that point. Naturally, I assumed that perhaps I would change my mind in the future, and we would be able to have those children. I shared these thoughts with him, and he responded positively. However, this is where things became contentious. After I told my boyfriend that it would also be unfair to force myself into having children if I am not prepared, he suddenly changed his tone and said he would have no choice but to leave me for someone who would give him children. This came as a surprise because I had assumed he only wanted children with me and would try to view things from my perspective. I felt hurt because I expected the same support I had shown him when he said he would resent me for not having them. I explained my disappointment, to which he responded that he was equally disappointed in me for being selfish. I became angry and broke up with him then. We have not spoken since. Am I the asshole for leaving? Commenter 1. You are doing the right thing by leaving. Whether or not to have children is not a "we will cross that bridge when we come to it" issue. Both partners need to be in agreement, or one of them will end up resenting the other and the children if it goes that way. This is a fundamental incompatibility, and breaking up to find someone who shares their feelings about children is for the best. The one man I thought I would marry, yes, he wanted children and I did not. That was not the only reason we broke up, but it would eventually have driven us apart. Honestly, he is one of the nicest people I have ever known, but we were not the right people for each other. I found out through social media that he married a woman a few years later and had 2 children with her. They divorced after about 20 years, apparently amicably, and I have no doubt that he is a great father. However, I did not want to be a mother. How do I know the divorce was probably on good terms? They never unfriended each other on Facebook. They lived about 2 blocks apart when they separated. And when he announced he was remarrying, guess who the first person was to offer congratulations? You guessed it, his ex-wife with a Facebook confetti cannon, no less. Sometimes people just change, I suppose. Choosing not to have children is never a selfish decision. Nobody is wrong here. They are young. They even have time to change their minds. They should break up and spend a few years figuring out what being an adult means for them, meeting new people and completing their education or training. Commenter 2. You are doing the right thing by leaving. I stayed with someone who wanted different things for 6 years, thinking love would be enough. Spoiler alert, it was not. Children are a fundamental compatibility issue, and you are wise to recognize that at 21. Original poster. I think this sums up my feelings. I have always believed that our love would be enough to overcome such obstacles, and it was a rude awakening for me to see how things turned out. Children or no children is not an obstacle to overcome. It is almost as significant an incompatibility as a straight woman trying to date a gay man. People who want children and people who do not want children should never date. That is an excellent comparison and should be emphasized. It is not a compromise issue. The number of children can be compromised, 1 versus 3, for example, or the timing before 30 versus after 30. But if one person absolutely wants children and the other absolutely does not, it is not possible to resolve, and continuing only prolongs the inevitable. I have adult granddaughters, aged 21 to 32, and only one is in a stable relationship. I do not give them unsolicited advice, but when we talk, I remind them that there are certain things they need to discuss during the dating period, such as whether or not to have children. Other topics should definitely include, in my opinion, getting along with each other's families, religion and politics, pets, and whether they can fully support each other's life goals. If not, they should agree to part ways before it becomes messy because they will never change the major aspects of someone. Commenter 3. The two of you are not compatible. I am sorry. It is best if you separate and find people who have the same future plans or are at least able to discuss the future without emotional threats. Do not stay with someone who wants children if you are unsure about having them. It will lead to heartbreak for both. This is not an asshole situation. This is two people who want completely different lives. Original poster, you cannot reasonably expect someone who wants children to wait to see if you might want them a decade from now. That is extremely unfair. Let the poor man go find a woman who wants children with him. You should find someone who does not care about having children, although I think most people have an opinion by adulthood. Commenter 4. Cross that bridge when we get there. I am sorry, but no, you do not cross that bridge when you get there. This is one of those issues where there is no middle ground, and neither person can be convinced to change their mind about it. It baffles me how some people with the mentality of crossing that bridge when we get there will date for years and even get married, only to divorce because, surprise, when someone does not want children, it means they do not want children. It is a severe lack of maturity. The moment you are at opposite ends on this issue, you end the relationship then and there. Commenter 5. I thought he only wanted kids with me. That is your mistake. No one enters a relationship thinking they only want children with that one person. If their life goal is to have a family, they will find someone who shares that goal with them. You did the right thing by ending it. It would not have been fair to him to force him into a relationship that he is not compatible with, and it would not have been fair to you to be forced into giving him a family if you did not want one. That is what stood out to me as well. That is not a healthy way to look at things. It is good that you are splitting up. Commenter 6. No assholes here. You mistook having children as an obstacle your love could conquer when it was a fundamental incompatibility all along. There is no compromise on having children. You either have them or you do not. He wanted children and was upfront with you about it every step of the way. You are the one who shifted from not wanting children to being uncertain about it. You wanted him to take a gamble that you might change your mind in the future. He made it clear he was not interested in taking that gamble. It is for the best that you broke up, and, short of you having children, he would have broken up with you eventually because he wants children. You are young. If you are not learning it right now, you will eventually learn that love does not conquer all. I commend him for knowing what he wants and standing firm on it. To be clear, he did not choose between our future children and you. He chose between having children and having you. He took you at your word, your ambivalence about having children, and he respected it. Take this time while you are single to figure out what you want, children or not. Then be honest about it with yourself and with others. Respect the certainty that others have regarding wanting children and understand that those people are fundamentally incompatible with you and your desire to remain child-free. Commenter 7. It is not wrong for you to not want children or to be unsure. It is also not wrong for him to want children. You both were honest about how it would make you feel if either gave in to the other. I think it was unkind for him to call you selfish. It is acceptable to not want children. However, you do not want the same things. I will say that thinking he only wanted children with you is naive. Wanting children is not necessarily specific to a person. Having children is a significant decision and is not something you should sacrifice for anyone. It would only lead to resentment and unhappiness. Breaking up was best. If you carefully read what she said, she was being selfish. She expected him to wait indefinitely, apparently, and then they reached a sort of agreement. But then she said, "It would be unfair for you to force me." He never suggested he was going to force her into anything. He simply pointed out honestly that he would resent her if she ultimately decided not to have children. He was expressing his honest feelings. That was a provocative statement. I think that is when he realized that she was not understanding. She then says he changed the tone, but it was her statement after they had reached an agreement that changed the tone.